Go ahead.
Okay, pulling up the agenda too. So we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First up is approval of minutes dated July 13th, 2020.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
We had one correction that I sent to Sherry. So she's
Can you,
got it.
what was the correction, Lynn?
Okay, the correction was
Sorry,
on
just curious.
page, that's all right, page 6, but it's a little longer than probably what it needed to be, but I wanted to make sure that it said that it was in the, it was the question that I asked Doug on the progress of access, public access to private property for the trails from Madrona Court and from Rutherford Parkway. So that'd be the south trailhead. And that was in the original proposal. So that's
Okay.
why I was asking.
Okay.
That's in it.
Okay. So Howie, you made a motion to approve the minutes. Does anyone want a second?
I can't, so.
I'll second.
Okay, Lynn second. Anyone opposed?
You should word that approve with Lynn's change.
Oh, okay. Howie, you want to reword that?
Make a motion to approve the minutes with Lynn's change to the minutes.
Thank you. And I second.
Perfect. Anyone opposed? Perfect. Is that all you need, Sherry?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let me pull up. Sorry, I have to keep going back and forth to the agenda. So next up is topics from the floor. For anyone who's not already on the agenda, do we have anyone who wants to speak today? Give it a moment, see if anyone needs to unmute. Anybody? Going once, going twice? Alrighty, I take that as a no. Next up is counselor's report. So Doug.
Well, I have absolutely nothing. That's it.
All right, that's easy.
I'm totally dry.
Well, thank you for being here.
You bet.
All right, next up is new business. The first thing we have up is native species donation from Michael Bernert from Wilsonville Concrete. And I'm not sure if he's on the line. Michael, are you on the phone? And if he's not, I'll give just a little bit of background of what this is, and then we'll probably have to add him to the next agenda. But he is with Wilsonville Concrete Products, and the city partnered with them. They are leasing space at the riverfront at the St. Helens Industrial Park docks. And after the city council meeting a couple meetings ago, I think it was, he reached out and he said that he wanted to offer to donate native species from their nursery, because they have a nursery that they keep going, I guess. So they grow plants for restoration and reclamation. And so he sent a website and said if we are interested in getting native species from them, they would donate them to us. And so I wanted to put that on the agenda for him to kind of talk about that and see what that process would look like. So if he is, go ahead.
Oh, I just said, wow, that's great.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. So I guess I'll reach out to him separately through email again. I had let him know about the meeting, but didn't get a response from him. So
I had emailed him the agenda too, but do you want me just to carry it over to next month?
Yeah, if you could, that would be great. Thank you,
Okay.
Sherry. So we'll see. More to come on that, but exciting. Okay, so next is bench donation for McCormick Dog Park. And we got an email in our packet with some information about that. Do we know who?
That would be Stuart Peterson. He's muted.
Okay.
Yes, here I am.
Hello. Do you want to provide some background?
Yes, my mother-in-law, I'm Nancy Stutzman, lived in a house that was just adjacent to the dog park on Melvin. She recently passed away, and the family and I would like to donate a bench to the park in her memory. She owned a dog. She got a great deal of enjoyment from watching the dog or the dogs in the park. And she came to know lots of the owners, had many wonderful conversations with them across the fence. And we thought that this would be a good way to preserve how much joy she got from the dog park.
That's great.
That's a cool idea.
That's really great. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
If you
We selected a style, haven't we?
if you take a look at the email attachment to the agenda, it has a sample that we have found. I can share my screen if you'd like.
I don't
I
know.
guess didn't we a while back decide on a certain style of all benches?
We looked at them, but I don't know if we ever decided.
Yeah, I
Does
don't
anybody
know that we decided.
It's Thad's not here, right?
I'm sorry.
No, that's on the
Who do you
line.
Yeah,
remember?
he's on the line.
Did we looked at several, I think we settled at least no more than 2 styles that we wanted to have in the parks.
Yeah, there were several to choose from, but I can't remember offhand which 2 you guys thought you wanted to use. And yeah, it's been a while, but we can go back through and revisit that. That's not a problem.
Do we have any opposition though to going with the style that they picked out?
Yeah, it's nice looking.
I don't think, is this it here?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that either.
Doug Morton here, and quite some time ago, we looked at, the placement of benches in the park. So I hope that Thad still has those documents of where where benches will be placed in each of our parks, and whether they will need a concrete platform or not, so that they are more stabilized and they're they are less susceptible to theft. The benches that I'm really impressed with are the ones with the single leg in the middle, and that way the mowers can get in and around underneath the bench without the operator getting off and having to move things around and that kind of thing. So I think all that needs to make certain that we're very careful with that consideration of where they're placed and how they're placed. That's what I have to offer.
And you're saying a certain style different than the one shown here.
Well, there is some benches, and I think it's over in McCormick Park with a single pedestal, I believe, and that way the mower can get underneath the bench with the seats on the. Well, these are kind of the tables, I believe. I'm not certain, but I thought it was the benches that were done that way, and it could be over in the golf park. I'm not certain, but I was impressed with that.
if you put them on a pad, you don't need to worry about lawn, like mowing under them, do you?
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
correct. That's
Correct.
And that
I
was
offer-
mentioned
yeah,
here, the
I offered
concrete
that
footing.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Is that what you had in mind, Stuart?
yes, I had actually spoken with a local concrete contractor. I don't have his name in my notes right now. But I have his phone number, and it's Artisan Concrete.
Oh,
I have sent him a text message, spoke on the phone, and I sent him all of the details, and he has not returned my note. But that's who I touched base with about full-sized concrete pad.
That would be Kevin Sullivan.
Ah, okay. That's his last name. I only knew him as Kevin. Okay.
And could we just
So-
leave it up to him and Thad to pick a location at the dog park?
Beg your pardon?
Stuart, do you have a location? Do you have a location where you had in mind for this in the dog park?
My family and I were at my grandma's house all of last week, and we were there today, and we did not take time to walk out in the park. We were quite busy getting the house ready to list. I would certainly be able to submit a couple of placement options by the next meeting. Or sooner.
Well,
Or sooner.
we have lots of room out there, and I could see a bench going in lots of different areas. I mean, it's pretty much open.
Yeah.
Why not put it in the park by her fence line?
We thought of that. That makes a person that sits on the bench, they have to cross a great a large part of the park or to get there. I am completely open to placement options.
I'd like to thankfully accept the donation and the pad and have Thad and Stuart be authorized to go over and select a location for it. I mean, there's probably no place in the park I would think it would be good, and maybe there's other considerations.
You say that you would take my recommendation for placement?
I would have you and Thad go over to the park and pick out a location that's suitable to you and to him, and move forward.
Stuart, I don't know if you know, I'm the park supervisor. John, I don't think he knows me, so.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. His name's Thad Howe.
Tad?
He used to be a ball.
bad.
Thad,
Thad, yeah.
THAD.
Ah,
I would agree with that, John.
Yeah, I like that.
Carmen?
You want to make a motion for it, John?
Wait, before I,
Oh, wait.
I'm
Sorry.
trying to find the raise the hand and I can't quite find it. Well,
Hold on a second.
Sherry has something.
He had to put in an application for placement of donated items on public property. So if you guys approved the concept of a bench, location, McCormick Park Dog Park, term, it's going to be there indefinitely. And the maintenance, if you agree, if the city agrees that the city's going to do maintenance on it, which it's not a wood bench, so it shouldn't
it
take
should be
much.
very low maintenance. It should
But
be-
if you guys approve all of those things today, then it goes to council for them to approve, and then it goes to Public Works for approval.
And
And the
problem,
location can be decided at that time.
yeah, I want to raise.
I'd move what you said.
Jerry, I think you've been trying to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, for some reason I can't find the raise the hand on the
That's
thing.
okay.
I usually can, but not today. Well, here's my thoughts on it. 2 thoughts on it. One, it should be sitting on a concrete pad
Mhm.
so that, it's easier to take care of. And also when people are sitting there, it's nicer. They can put their, it doesn't get all muddy and that sort of thing. And number two, as far as the location, I have no problem with that and Stuart picking the location. But my thoughts on the location is that it should be placed in the park so that the most people that go in and use the park can sit down and look at their yard, look at their dogs run around in a very comfortable way, in a place where they can observe it. I mean, something that's going to be usable for the people who go there. So I have no problem with that, picking the park, but I think it should be in a place that's my thoughts. Bye.
Okay.
Convenient
Doug?
location, in other words. A convenient location, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Put that in the
usable.
motion,
That's
right?
Got a hand?
Okay, Doug, yep.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to backtrack on what Sherry read. And I recalled that those conversations quite a few years ago when Columbia View Park was filling up with benches and little memorials for people who have been in the community and that kind of thing. We go, what are we going to do? This is going to start to look like a graveyard in 30, 40 years. How are we going to manage this? But one of the issues, and I don't know if Sherry alluded to this or not, is that what's the longevity of the bench? How many years will that bench stay there, and who's going to maintain it? Well, Sherry said something about the city maintaining it. And so if we accept this, then we accept the liability of maintaining it and whatever, but for how long? And when Stuart signs that application, I was under the influence that there was a years that the longevity of that bench would stay. Now, if there isn't an amount of time, I think we're really lacking in terms of what we're thinking of benches and memorials as well. If someone wants to put a memorial in an area, who's going to maintain it and for how long? I don't know how long that bench is going to last. And then what? So I think that would be worthy of discussion at some time.
In the email that I submitted, the manufacturer of this particular bench has a 50-year warranty against breakage.
Those are plastic seats. Those
Yes.
Plastic.
Composite.
Yeah.
Made out of
That sounds about right.
made out of recycled milk cartons, jugs.
1% or 2%.
So, this is really
Hold
worth a good discussion, because what happens, Stuart, if someone comes in and vandalizes that bench, okay, then the city is responsible for replacing it and our insurance kicks in and we do it that way. Is that correct? Is that correct, Stu?
Yeah, the application when on the donated items indicates that the city takes over the maintenance basically, and then it's up to the city whether or not, if it does become vandalized or damaged, that it's up to the city whether or not it's worthwhile to try to repair or replace. So it's the city's discretions. It could be out there for a year, it could be out there for 50 years. So it just depends on how long it lasts and how long it's useful in its location. But it becomes the city's discretion once it's accepted, but it has to be approved by the Parks Commission, and then it goes to the council to approve.
Got it.
And then Public Works.
Yeah,
I'll
and then
make a
Public Works.
I'll make a motion.
Go
I'll
for
second
Sherry.
it.
Make a
Can you make the
motion.
motion?
I don't know. We'll see. Is that okay, Carmen?
Yeah, go
Want me to
for it.
go for it?
Yeah,
Go for
do
it.
it.
Okay. Good. Okay, I make a motion that, we accept the bench that Stuart Peterson and his family are willing to donate to the city with the condition that it's the city's discretion on how long the bench stays in place once it's been erected.
Does anyone want a
second.
second?
I'll second it.
I did.
Oh, I think John beat you to it, Howie.
Okay.
All right,
Pretty quick,
anyone opposed? All right, everybody approves. Awesome. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart.
And
Yeah.
Thank you, Stuart.
going to assume that I need to contact Thad Hauk for some time to come up with a placement site.
Yeah, is that okay
Once you
if he reaches out to you now, Thad, about that before it's approved by City Council?
That's not a problem at all.
Okay,
We can find a spot and then council can approve it.
great.
Okay.
Okay.
How would I reach out to you, Thad, for a time?
Well, just show up over here at McCormick Park, our office. I'm usually around here.
Oh,
Can you read the
4:30.
phone number on there?
in the maintenance office?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
Stuart, I can also email you his email address and phone number.
I'm look up. I'm said that, sorry.
I can also email you Thad's email address and phone number, his contact info.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah. If you could just call me and let me know, we can set up the time and not a problem.
Okay, I will.
And,
It'll be,
and this will get forwarded to council. And then Kathy Payne, who's the council secretary, will let you know when the council meeting will be where they'll discuss this.
okay.
So it's not officially approved until the city council approves it.
Sure, yeah, I understand. Is there a
Okay.
cadence for the
Were you
Thank you
asking
for
the
the
cadence
donation.
of that, Stuart?
pardon me?
Were you asking for when that meeting would be, the cadence of those meetings?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I thought so. I believe they happen every other Wednesday. Is that right, Doug? And they were
Yes.
just last week, so next week would be the next meeting.
Yep.
I believe.
So 1 o'clock for our work session, 7 o'clock for the evening business session, for the
Okay.
general meeting.
Okay, but someone will be in contact with me regarding which agenda I'm on.
Yes.
Kathy Payne will contact you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, one and all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Stuart.
You, Stuart?
All right, next on the agenda is a request from the Wellness Committee.
Hi there, can you guys hear me okay?
We can, hello.
So I'm calling in and I'm on the computer, so it's a little shady here. So I was at your guys' last meeting and I was talking about different activities that we had coming up for the rec program. So I was just going to quickly update a few things. The Story Stroll has a new book up as of today. So feel free to go over to McCormick Park and check out the new book that's going on. And then we started a scavenger hunt that's taking our community to different parks to do different activities there, like find something yellow in Campbell Park or go over to Dalton Lake and find some sort of bird or a bug or something. So I encourage you guys to get the word out about that. It seems like it's going fine. There's about 16 families that are really actively participating and updating pictures and stuff, so it's been really fun. But this request here is about the bikes. So I talked to you guys last time about the surplus bikes that are over at the police department and also at Public Works. Today I had about 30 bikes delivered to the recreation center from the police department. They all seem to be in fairly decent shape. There's some that are missing things like tires and stuff, so definitely some more work will have to go into those. But there's some nice like BMX bikes and some really nice adult bikes as well. So when I had talked to you guys about that, we were talking about maybe having some volunteer time to help us repair the bikes, because it's just me over at the recreation program right now. And I'm not a bike expert, so you probably don't want me putting a wheel on a bike. I can definitely wipe them down, but you don't want me like fixing the brakes or anything, because that might be a scary situation. I see Paul on here. I know he's more of the expert on all of this. So I was going to have Jenny Dimshow, she's on the call as well, talk a little bit about the Wellness Committee and what our plans are for having their involvement. And then we have an ask from you. So I'm going to have Jenny go ahead and go.
Awesome. Thanks, Shauna. I had the picture of all the bikes piled up at the rec program. I was going to share it, but it looks like it's disabled. In any case, there's about 25 bikes. So the wellness program is, it was founded in 2015. It's the City of St. Helens way to engage with worksite wellness for city staff. And it's been like pretty small since we started in 2015. It's volunteer based. We've done some like walking challenges. We've done nutrition stuff. We've done classes during lunches and things like that. And Shauna brought this bike repair idea to the wellness committee, and we thought it would be a really good way to try doing a citywide volunteer program, and this would be a good way to like test it out. And so the specific request is going to go before City Council for approval at their next meeting. But I know later on your agenda, you are discussing some surplus bicycle and pedestrian funds. And so the Wellness Committee thought it might be a good way to partner with you guys on this bike repair program we're trying to start. And in case you weren't at the last meeting when Shauna talked about this, these bikes were surplus bikes through the PD. Public Works also has ample bikes at their shop that are in worse shape than these. And so we're trying to make this a program where we're also getting rid of surplus bikes and giving them away to the community, but engaging our city staff and you guys in the repair of the bikes. And so, you know, we're looking for support in labor, but we're also looking for support monetarily for the supplies to repair the bikes. So I don't know if there are questions. I was also going to hand it back to Shauna if she had anything that she wanted to add to this.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. So part of the Bikes and Pedestrian Commission's duties that they did is they actually, I think they handled the surplus bikes for a while. I remember when I was the secretary on there, we had given out helmets and then did a surplus sale. And so we had thought, you know, this would be a great program to still go hand in hand with the Parks and Pedestrian or Parks and Trails to still keep going so we can get these bikes back out on the streets and have some sort of value to our community, and plus get them out of our buildings, which I'm sure if you guys have been into the PD, you know that this is very valuable space. I've gotten many thank you emails today for coming and taking those out of there. And so just looking at something that we can engage the community as well. I know the funds that were left over from the Bikes and Pedestrian Commission were ones that were fundraised for things like helmets, and Paul, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because and then also other bikes and pedestrian type of activities. So we had thought maybe if you guys were willing to throw some dollars at us to repair these bikes, and then we can all partner together on how we get these back out, of course, with the council's approval as well. Paul, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that, or was anything I said was incorrect?
Paul, you're muted.
You're muted, Paul.
Yeah, he's muted on his end, it looks like.
Yep.
Unmute.
There you go.
I guess it just automatically muted me or something. Yeah, I would have two questions. I guess one is like ongoing. Is this an ongoing program that you guys plan on continuing? And you guys are accepting the surplus bikes, or is this just you going down and receiving some from the police department, or what's the plan in the future?
I think Shauna, you can chime in, but I think this was a trial run to see how it goes. I think the PD bikes are in better shape. I think we're gonna need assistance with the public works bikes, like in technical expertise. And so if that assistance is difficult to find, then this may not be a sustainable program that we can keep going with. But for right now, our goal is to just get these bikes out this summer. And then
Okay.
if it's received well, you know, we can consider doing it more often.
The 25 bikes, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
You're trying
yeah.
to get
Yep.
those out this summer.
Yeah.
So
And then, yeah.
what is the, is this something that you guys have gotten out to the community, or how do people find out about this, or how can they qualify? Anybody that wants to could just come up and the bike be donated to them, or is this?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Basically.
Shauna, I think we had talked about different ways that we want to distribute the bikes. Some of these are adult bikes, like the majority of them are. And so we were going to reach out to specific agencies like nonprofits. I know SAFE often gives away bikes or could need bikes. There's women that need transportation in the community. Community Action Team also might be a good nonprofit to reach out to. I think we had planned on having a sign-up sheet, kind of a first come, first serve, and then come and look at the bikes.
Okay.
But Shauna, I don't know if you have refined that strategy.
Well, I've seen several different programs, and one thing I would like to do is kind of absorb this program into the rec programming so that we can throughout the year have different opportunities for people to gain access to bikes. And so probably our first one, what we would do, I think the one that I like the best that I've seen is just that we will pick a time that will be open for people to come and pick a bike, and whoever gets here first, you know, we'll go one at a time. They can go in the gym, pick whatever bike they want, and then leave, and then the next person can go in and pick. That way it's not, you know, we don't want any, like, we're not selling anything or anything like that. And so, but I've seen other ones where they fix up the kids' bikes, and then for like reading programs at the library, they'll give them out, or at like the Toy and Joy and stuff. So that's something in the future we could look at. But I think just this first initial, just making it as simple as possible will be the best bet for that.
Yeah, no, I think it's, you know, it's a great idea. It's definitely a need because on both accounts, we have people that come by and want to donate bikes to us. We usually refer them to a couple of co-op shops in Portland where they can drop their bikes off. And we also have people that know, you know, maybe somebody comes in there and knows a friend, a kid in the neighborhood that needs a bike or whatever. So it's certainly a need, and there's also continuing people in the community that are donating bikes. So.
And my hope would be that we would have a facility that we could have the donations at and stuff. And you know, next year, I was going to start it this year, but everything that's happened with COVID wasn't able to. But I really want to do the Sunday parkways like what Portland does, where we can close down streets and have different bike riding and skateboarding events, or even just at the park and close down the parking lot and stuff. So really encourage that sort of activity as well.
Well, I can tell you, I'll commit to, you know, helping out with what I can help out with as much as I can, you know. Certainly we'll donate as much time as I'm available to help out. So just let me know.
And
Jerry, did you have something?
Yeah, the surplus helmets. We also have surplus helmets from the Bike Ped Commission that we plan on giving away with the bike as well. Those are also taking up storage in public works shops. And so we're trying to clean that up as well.
Jerry, did you have a question?
Well, I had a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, maybe we could talk to some, you know, family services, you know, so they could maybe make some recommendations on, you know, some students that are young people that need bikes.
Yeah.
Don't have access or financial resources to have a bike.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'm pretty connected with the rec program, especially this summer, and just partnering a lot. So I have a lot of connections with our underserved youth nonprofits. And so I would definitely reach out to them first and let them have first go at the signups and really try to get them into kids that really do truly need the bikes, and adults as well. So that is definitely on the forefront of our want for this program as well.
Yeah, so just to kind of recap, the next step is getting approval with City Council at their next meeting. Shauna and I are going to present this on the 19th, and that's the citywide volunteer program piece of this. But we were hoping to get support from you all in some sort of monetary form to help us repair the bikes. So if that's something you guys want to discuss, or if you have more questions about what that money would be used for, that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, we have the Bike and Pedestrian Committee budget up next on the agenda, and I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand. So does it make sense to move on to that, and we can make a decision there?
Can I ask one more question though? Shauna, will you guys have an area there that you would be able to store bikes, you know, that are donated, say long term?
So currently I'm working on that, what that would look like. I'm sure that I can probably get some sort of space to do. Right now they're in the gym at the rec center, which right now we're closed to the public, so it's fine from there. But for future use, I probably can find somewhere where, as long as we have like an organization system and we're not just piling a bunch of bikes somewhere to leave for years and years.
Well, the only reason I ask that is I kind of know how these co-op shops in Portland, how they function, and basically, you know, they take in a lot of bikes and they, you know, take parts off of some bikes because one bike's, you know, too messed up to be able to really repair, you know, because the cost to repair it costs too much money. So they steal what they can off of it and they use those parts to fix other bikes. But then that means that, you know, you're kind of, you know, you're storing stuff. And I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. If that's something that you were aware of, that, you know, it's a way of saving. That's how they save money. You know, they volunteer help, and people come in and they steal brakes off of one bike or a bike that doesn't have brakes, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would love to research that further and explore it further, because I have seen some different bike programs that are just so amazing that I would love to bring out here. And so having a space for that is something that is on my priority list to see if I can get something going for that. So thank you for that information, Paul.
Okay.
Jerry?
Yeah, when the Bikes and Pedestrian Commission stopped functioning, what happened to how much money did they have in their budget, and where did that go?
So that is next on the agenda, Bike and Pedestrian Committee budget, and there is a link in the agenda. It's in the packet that has that information, and I'm not sure who was planning to talk about that today.
I can just briefly, at the last meeting, you guys inquired about that. Hey, what happened to that money? So I asked Matt where that was, and he did a little research back through the last few budgets before he got here and found where that budget was. And was it Sherry maybe sent the actual itemized?
Shauna found that.
It was me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was the secretary for several years for that. So.
Ah, okay, that's where, okay.
And I can share my screen
very
on
appreciative. Yeah. Anyway, so Matt, with that, knowing what exact balance was there, which they had a very, very nice itemized ledger on that. Matt carved that money back out of the streets budget because it had just been incorporated into the total street balance. So it is now in its own little fund.
Awesome.
Now, what, $1,700 and some odd dollars?
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So last May of 2019, you guys did that bike fair. And you had talked about using some of that money then to buy helmets. And I don't know if that's where the helmets came from that we have in our storage building over here or what. So I don't know if there's actually that much money there or not.
Mm.
Paul, is Paul still
Well,
there?
Matt didn't say anything about there was a helmet purchase. So I think this is
Fair
probably-
game. Okay. So does anyone have thoughts on how we want to use this money, and if we want to allocate a certain amount to start, go towards this program and fixing the bikes that are out there currently? Anyone have thoughts?
My thinking on that is, since Paul's kind of the expert on that, maybe maybe he could on bikes, and probably, and also to get bicycle parts, where you can get maybe used bicycle parts, or you can get parts that for reduced price that have been used. I mean, yeah, I would think that you might have some ideas on that.
Yeah, I mean, we could, I can talk to you offline about something. I'm sure the shop could help out with, setting up a deal with ongoing program or something for repairing some of these bikes. Just depends
Well, I
on,
would think, Paul,
I don't know how much some of these could be, depends on how much work you guys really want to do on some of these and how much you want to invest in them and put into them. Sometimes, we usually end up just telling people to kind of cut their losses and they're not worth it. That's where you get into okay, well, you set that bike aside and you use the parts on it that are good that you can use for another bike or something. Because there has to be, somebody have to make that determination on how much money we're willing to, invest in each bike. Because you could spend hundreds, over $100 easy on parts or more, $200 to repair a bike that you could go down to Walmart and get the same one for $75, right?
Right, definitely. Yeah, I think that there's going to be some likely like dump runs for some of the ones that are not going to work. But we're thinking initially, I mean, we need things like bike pumps and tubes and degreaser and some grease for the chain. Like we need like just simple starter up supplies.
Right. Well, you won't have to worry about it this year because you're not going to get anything this year. So. There isn't anything.
What do you mean?
Wait, what?
There's no tubes, there's no tires, there's no pumps, there's no seats.
Oh, because of the stock issues?
Yeah, because of the virus. We've been out of bikes since June, and we've been out of tubes now for over a month. So
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So making repairs, we've just been kind of making repairs based off of our existing stock, but eventually that's gonna run dry. So something to consider if you're wanting to try to get these out by I should have said something before, but if you want to.
No, that's really good news. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So we'll see how many bikes we can get out this year. Some may just need air. It's hard to tell without looking into them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind coming down and just give me a time. I didn't know with this whole virus, but you can just go anywhere and knock on the door and get in. But I don't have a problem coming down and going through them and taking a look at them.
Okay. Yeah, we still need to go through council. But at this meeting, I would still ask that a small we're definitely not asking for that entire fund. We just want a small portion to be able to get started.
How much would you like, Jenny?
Couple of $100 or something do for you, or?
I'd say if you had 25 bikes, you're probably looking at least 500. But
well, if you're saying we can't get parts,
there's some stuff that you can get, and I'm not saying you can't get it. It's kind of hit and miss. Tubes are pretty hard to come by, and tires. So.
Okay.
Jerry, did you have a comment before we start?
I have a comment.
Amount. Go for it.
Paul, I hate to keep throwing stuff back at you because I have ideas and you have to do all the work. But some of your suppliers I don't know how wealthy they are or what their community interest is, but would some of your suppliers maybe be interested in donating, some of their materials for this project?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I had something that was, I'm sure I could, certainly could talk to them if I had, was able to explain the program to them and what we plan on doing, they're all for this type of stuff. So,
could we maybe come up with a letter?
Yeah, like a letter or something.
That we give to Paul, and then Paul can pursue that maybe when the suppliers come in, or ever how he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can totally do something like that. Paul, I'm going to be out most of this week, so next week works great for me. I'll just message you my cell phone number, and just whenever you want to come down and take a peek at some of them seem like you can just write them out now, but I don't know, and I don't want to attempt to, so we'll wait till you tell me it's okay.
Shauna, it really should be after next Wednesday too, just so that we can make sure we get this program approved.
Sure.
I would like to be there on that day as well.
Awesome.
So
yeah, and I know even if the city council doesn't approve the wellness portion of it, I know that they were interested in, I know I have permission for the rec program to get it moving still.
Great.
So yeah, so I would like to get them moving regardless. We just thought with the wellness program, it could really tie, the city employees, our volunteers, and just make it this really cool wraparound type of work. Because one of our thoughts for the wellness program in the future is maybe we can have city staff who donate time to volunteer doing park things, and just kind of connecting us to those services that we use and that we love, and seeing why they're so important to our community too.
Jerry?
There's two issues here I perceive. One is, the short-term issue of maybe taking some of that $1,700 and giving it, or denoting it for the repair of the bikes now. And then the other thing was what I mentioned that Paul said he was receptive of, is number two, is once we get the first item taken care of, maybe we could come up with a letter that we all, if we approve, if we think that's a good idea, then come up with a letter that we could, give to Paul so he could give to his suppliers. So, yeah, so there's two issues here. So that's at least that's my thoughts, and I think we should take care of the first one first.
Agreed. Do we have an idea of how much we want to allocate to this as a first go around? Jenny, Shauna, is there an amount you have in mind?
I heard Howard say 250. I heard Paul say 500. I think anywhere in between there is great. I'd love to hear others' thoughts.
I say we go with 500 just to be safe.
Yeah, I'm good with that. The money's just sitting there right now.
Yeah,
So
and that's what it's for, is this purpose, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it fits
It's
squarely
sitting
into
there
the
for
bike
about
ped
5 years.
mission. Yeah.
It's been sitting there doing nothing for 5 years.
Yeah, I
So I
agree
say we
with
start with
500
500.
as well.
Howard, someone make it a motion.
I make a motion that we donate or let them have $500 to start this program.
I second.
Perfect. Anyone opposed? Okay, everybody agrees.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. Thank you for the work that you guys are doing. And let us know how else we can help.
Awesome. And Jenny and I will be seeking grants and stuff for this program as well, because there is things out there that could, go towards sustaining it for the future as well. But we appreciate everything that you guys do as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That is it for old business. Does anyone have discussion items that aren't on the agenda?
I'm still on this one.
Oh,
Carmen.
sorry. We have one more thing. The letter. Yeah. Do we need to make a motion about the letter, though?
I'll
It
make a
sounded
motion.
like Jenny and Anna were going to go forward with that, but
Yeah, and they're going to also look for grants too. So, but
yeah.
I mean, if suppliers are willing to, donate money for a program to help, people who need bikes, hey, we'll take it. Wouldn't you think? So I make a proposal that the Parks and Trails Commission draft a letter to give to Paul so he can present it to suppliers asking for donations for the bike program.
So I would just
I don't know if the
modify
bike
that.
program is the proper word.
I would modify that to have Jenny and Shauna draft a letter potentially, because they have all the background about it. But Jenny, I don't know if that's
Yeah, we can definitely write a letter.
Okay.
I think that would be that can come, and I'll work with Paul on that.
okay.
Okay. Will we have to approve that letter, Jenny, eventually, or is it just something you're gonna do from the city?
Yeah, it would depend if it's coming from the city or this body.
So does
I
it
think
look better with
if it came from the Parks and Trails Commission, you know, I think that's a pretty appropriate place to start, and then it can also be, you know, in addition, you know, the city and maybe even a couple other names could be placed on there.
Sure.
So I make a recommendation that Jenny work with Paul in drafting a letter to ask suppliers for donations for the bike program.
I'll second it.
All right. Anyone opposed?
I only
Alright.
got one quick comment though.
Okay.
If they can't donate something, maybe they could give us stuff at reduced cost. You know, that may be appealing. So
Good idea.
that'd be
Good
my only-
idea. Good idea, Howard.
Otherwise, I agree with everything.
Perfect. All right. Any
Agreed.
other comments about that? All right, let's move on to discussion items. Shauna, I was going to add you to the agenda just for other items. Is there anything else that you wanted to update the commission on in regards to the rec programs?
I don't think I have anything else, just those
Okay.
3 items, kind of the ongoing things. We are going to be handing out some more kits. I got, gosh, I can't even, there's probably 1,000 Home Depot kits that I got from Home Depot. So those ones that you go and do like the workshops with, and you put together like the little wooden things. So you'll see us in the parks putting those together with the kids and stuff. So that was a pretty cool partnership. And then we're going to do bird houses, I think, at the end of August with the youth council. And so we'll probably be coming back to here to see where you guys want us to install bird houses at some point. So yeah, so those are the main things. And if you guys have any ideas for things or things you want me to put on the scavenger hunt or anything like that, please email me or call me. I'm open to all the ideas. You guys are the experts on our parks. I've gotten to go to some new areas I haven't been before. And yeah, so any ideas you guys have for me, please let me know.
Awesome. Thank you. And the scavenger hunt is super fun. So thank you for doing that.
Hey,
All
this
right.
is Sherry.
Hey,
I
Sherry.
lost my Wi-Fi, so now
Oh,
I'm
no.
on the phone. But if you made any motions about the
Oh.
letter, I missed them.
Okay, did you catch the budget piece? The $500?
yes. And then
Okay.
Jerry was going to make a motion, and you were going to change it a little bit, and that's where I left.
Yeah, Jerry, do you want to remake your motion about the letter?
Yes. I make a motion that
If you can remember.
I just said Jen, but that Jenny and Shauna draft a letter with Paul to ask his suppliers if they can donate or sell at reduced price bike parts for the bike program for needy people in our community.
And Jake seconded, and there were no oppositions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Any other discussion items from anybody today?
I've
Howard,
got
go
2 or
ahead.
3 quickie ones here.
Go for
Well, hopefully. First would be going back to an article in the Chronicle on 7/22, and also last week on the front page of the Spotlight. They're talking about that Scappoose Bay Watershed Council now has $75,000 available for kind of watersheds, and they're willing to partner with private individuals and we are talking to them and Jenny about the possibility of trying to get a small grant, once again, for kind of Nob Hill and kind of Fifth Street to try to work on controlling blackberries and possibly some plantings in those areas. So I just thought I'd let you guys know, one of the deadlines is like in the next week or so, so we're not sure if we're going to be able to get it together that quick. And then there's another chance to apply again in the beginning of next opportunities, again in October and April coming up. So I just thought I'd let you know that we're working again on some ways of financing, you know, to get things done in there. You know, we thought that the Fifth Street right-of-way trail is starting to get overgrown and a lot of blackberries. We got to try to keep that trail open and maintain that, you know. The other one is a little bit of food for thought. There's nothing firm on this, but the Watershed Council is also needing to branch out into other services, and they're actually partnering some and going to do some consulting for the city of Scappoose on nature parks, on, you know, things to make them better and that type of thing. So that's something that's kind of up and coming. We can talk about that further, but I thought I'd just throw that out there for food for your thought, or food for thought. Is that it? You know, so you guys can think on that one, you know. And then also, I mean, we've been talking about benches in Nob Hill, and so I guess I'll probably need to talk to Thad, and we need to firm that up because we've been talking about 2 more benches. So probably sometime this fall, we're gonna try to work on that more. So that's all that's going on at Nob Hill right now.
Great. Thank you for those updates.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to say, yeah.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Just one thing about, we had a work party at Dalton Lake Nature Preserve end of July, and 3 people showed up. I posted pictures on the Facebook page, and we cleared out not only the road, you know, the main trail, but also the 3 trails that go to the Columbia River, so that you can walk through there now without being snagged by blackberries. And it looks really good.
It's so nice. It looks really good. We were down there last weekend. It was really great. Yeah.
Great.
I had one thing I wanted to bring up, just a check-in with Sue and Thad about Godfrey Park and see what the status is of updates there, and if there's any ETAs on when that work will be completed.
I can't comment on completed. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would have to say if they've been doing anything. I've been out for over a week. So.
Oh, okay. Thad, do you have any updates on Godfrey?
Not really. Not really. Not till things slow down a little bit. Give us some time to do something.
Okay. Is there anything that we can do to help to get that work moving at all?
There's lots of brush to clear. Always that. And I have something other to say while I'm on here. The restrooms are open at Columbia View, Great Cliffs, McCormick, and we just opened up Campbell too.
Oh, good.
We have those going. They're cleaned twice a day, so they should be good. They should be better than the porta potties. And in a while, I'm sure we'll pull the porta potties away once everybody figures it out. So
great, great.
One more question about Godfrey. I know that we got a grant for that work, and so I'm just wondering, I know we got that grant a long time ago to do the work there, and I was wondering if there's any kind of timeline associated with that.
For Godfrey?
Mm-hmm. I recall that from the past, yeah, like 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't a grant.
Really?
I'm not aware of a grant for Godfrey.
Okay, I thought we did. I thought we had a grant for the work at Godfrey.
We have a grant for Campbell.
Okay, Doug.
Yeah, went to the council, and the council agreed to allocate a certain amount of money and okay the idea that that it would be an in-house kind of activity. to do that, an in-house design for the children's park. There
Okay.
was a bit of discussion about that, and some issues about the children going down into the canyons and that kind of thing. But from that, I think things have been really kind of slow. So I can't recall a grant, but I recall the go-ahead from the city council to give the public works individuals and our staff the green light to start to work on that park. Is that correct, Sue?
Yeah, it was part of the funds that were allocated for just some general phase 1 park improvements.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there wasn't a grant that had outside money coming in.
Okay.
Carmen, that's a good question, and I hope somebody in the Parks Commission keeps that going, keeps that alive, because that's such a great idea. And and then, you know, when the pandemic hits and we're short on staff and other things are happening, it kind of took the back burner, I believe.
Yeah, it really did.
And I get that, and I totally understand that. I'm just thinking, I mean, my family and I have been out in the parks a lot more lately, and so to me, it's more important now even to have those fixed up, and the equipment at Godfrey is just so outdated, and it would be really awesome to see that fixed up as another place to utilize for families.
Yeah, as chairman of the Parks Commission, you sharpen your vision skills, don't you? And you start looking for a lot of things when you go walking in a park, right?
Yep. Jerry?
Yeah, this is for Jenny. So Jenny, I'm confused.
I don't know if Jenny's on.
I don't think she's.
Sue,
I don't think she's on.
I'm easily confused. Dad, I'm easily confused. I'm not exactly with Carmen, but I thought a couple of years ago that, you know, there was the design that was in place, ready to go.
Yeah.
In Godfrey Park.
Yes.
So, yes. So what's the status of that?
That's what
we're
talking about.
Do it.
Staff.
What's that, Dad?
We have the personnel to do it right now. As soon as we get the personnel to do it, we can do it. We still got it. The sketches and drawings.
So this is
they
kind
aren't
of
exactly
the nature thing where kids crawl over the top of logs and through.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So I mean, there's money for that.
Yep.
It's ready to go as soon as.
Well, it's one of those that's going to be implemented by our own staff. So we haven't had a full staff for, close to a year now.
So how many people do we have working for the parks now, Sue?
3
full-timers?
3 full-timers.
Okay, so eventually when their work, eventually that's going to happen at Godfrey Park then.
Eventually, yeah, and and then we did just get a summer helper, so that's helpful. But at the same time, as Thad just mentioned, we've opened all the restrooms, so then that sucks a whole bunch of time away from their daily activities. But now mowing's starting to wean off a little bit, not quite as intensive this time of year, and I think we have an opportunity to hire 1 or 2 more summer helpers. Even though it's only for a short period of time, those extra bodies can make a difference.
So Sue, the Godfrey project has been budgeted for. It's going to happen as soon as Thad and can work out a schedule to get it done.
Yeah, we got to be able to allocate the staff, and it's been a difficult year.
I agree with Carmen. That park, because I used to live right by it. It hasn't changed in almost 50 years.
Yep.
Well, I've got the slide picked out and some of the other things. It's just a matter of starting to get out there and get it done. And then the fall protection's a big one too, because we have to do everything right. So, we have to really make sure we do it right the first time.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for the updates. I'll keep checking in and asking.
And if anybody has been over to Campbell Park, they will notice that the tennis courts and the basketball courts are no more.
Yeah, I saw they got
Saw
torn
that.
down.
Hey, Thad,
So
I
we're
played,
mixing it there.
I played pickleball yesterday for the first time in 3 or 4 months, and some of the people that I played with outside in the wind, they were so excited that there was going to be pickleball courts at Campbell Park.
Yep.
Is there a timeline for that work of when that's going to start?
We're just putting in fact, while I was gone last week, I was working on the contract to put that out to bid for somebody to come in and do all of the courts. So as soon as we can get it scheduled, get it out to bid and get somebody ready to do it.
That'll be a big improvement to that park.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Well, and for the improvements here at McCormick with the new playground, we are still waiting on the Blazers to finish their season. The money keeps going up as I see it, so hopefully that'll come true before long. We can get started on that too.
Yep.
Yeah, I was actually, now that you mentioned that, I was talking to Shauna about that a little bit, and we both thought it would be a good idea to have some community involvement in the equipment that gets picked or the design that gets picked for that, especially since the community was so involved with getting those votes, and just having maybe some designs for them to choose from, or have some kind of a session where we could get community feedback to really make sure that we pick equipment and a layout that works well for the community.
Yep.
Yes, we have quite a few options for the all access playground equipment. And we can initiate that alongside our #1 plan that you guys pretty much approved to go in. And I think that's a good idea. Let the public pick what they like, and what'll work best for the community.
Yep.
So as that gets closer, when that kind of decision needs to be made, or we need that input, can you guys let us know so we can try to coordinate something like that?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. All right.
Those are my 2 questions, so I have nothing.
Okay. Any other discussion items? And then we have other business. Any other business that anyone wants to bring up? And all right. Oh, Jerry's hand.
I wanted to say hi to John.
Hey.
I miss you too, sweetie.
Very important. All right. If there's nothing.
What happened to Doug?
Doug's here.
I don't think I
Doug's
was
there.
Yeah, but what happened to him?
He said he fell.
His wife. It was his wife. And he'll tell you
Talk
something.
back to her.
His wife.
Actually, I could make a big tale about I was up at the demonstrations and tried to break everything up down in front and did not succeed. But anyway, no, I tripped and actually I fainted and went down head first. So yeah, it was a nasty fall.
But you're okay
Get
now.
better, my friend.
What's that?
You're okay now.
Get better, my friend.
I'm way okay now. I haven't. Yeah, I had the best surgeon in the Northwest, I think, and she worked miracles.
It was really his wife, John.
Yeah. Yeah,
He doesn't live the same life as you do, Jerry, now.
Yeah, my wife Lefty gave me a ride.
Are we done?
I think we can call meeting adjourned.